Over the last year or so, one of my gym hippies has repeatedly dodged my attempts to get her tracking her calorie intake on MyFitnessPal. This isn't me bitching. I do get it. I do understand. She is, after all, a spontaneous foodie for whom food is so much more than just calories and macronutrients. She always says to me, reducing her food to mere fuel just isn't in line with how she sees the world. She loves variety and new culinary experiences and adventure. And MyFitnessPal just doesn't fit in with that. For these reasons, up until this point, our nutrition strategy has really just been mindful eating. Mindful eating, for those that don't know, is where we intuitively track our calorie and protein intake through eyeballing portion sizes and essentially educated guesswork. Now, don't get me wrong, mindful eating can work. But recently, she's decided that it's not been working for her. That is, she's not been seeing the results that she wants. Results that I know are equally as important to her well-being as enjoying freedom when it comes to food. This situation has created a quandary, a dilemma, where on the one hand, calorie tracking is unappealing, but on the other, she simply hasn't been taking enough control over her nutrition in order to see results. This internal conflict has fueled much inconsistency, stagnancy, and much frustration, particularly for her, but also for me too as her coach. A few weeks ago, she decided that enough was enough. Mindful eating had essentially become mindless eating, and we quite simply needed more control over our calorie intake. You see, when it comes to calories, if we're not tracking, then even at the best of times, we're really just estimating. And whilst estimating calorie intake can work for some, particularly those more disciplined personality types, or perhaps during times when we have more time, headspace, energy, motivation, or willpower, estimating calorie intake doesn't work at other times, particularly if we're not a disciplined person and especially if our life gets busy. After all, how can we expect to effectively estimate our calorie intake when our head isn't in the game? When our head is full of negative emotions, when we're fighting off urges to emotionally eat, when we're short on time, when we're feeling overwhelmed, when we're rushing around, stressed, or when we're being dragged from pillar to post. In such scenarios, accurately estimating our calorie intake is totally unrealistic, and we are setting ourselves up for failure. And this is exactly what had been happening in the case that I'm talking about. So we changed course. We started tracking calories every day, scanning barcodes, saving meals, managing a calorie budget, and just generally becoming more aware of what's actually going on. 2 weeks later, she was in a totally different headspace. She had transitioned from chaos and frustration to feeling calm and in control. Why? Because by entering her food into MyFitnessPal, she had actually started to regularly reflect upon her behavior, something that she'd be the first to admit she'd never really done before. She started reflecting on what had gone well and what hadn't, on why it hadn't, and crucially, what she could do differently next time. This regular self-reflection had empowered her to not only better understand her behavior, but to refine and improve it. This new awareness has truly shifted her behavior to be much more in line with her fat loss goals, and it has been a powerful shift. Guys, it goes without saying that if we are to achieve our goals, our behavior must be consistently goal supportive. For us to take more control of our behavior, we must reflect on it. And for me, MyFitnessPal is a fantastic place to start being more self-reflective. This is just one of many reasons why I would advise anyone with fat loss goals to spend some time tracking their calorie intake. Guys, if you need help getting started, drop me a DM and let's get you sorted. If not, until next time, stay awesome and keep going.